Hey everybody, Dan Sfera at www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I have a quick story to tell you, and the message in the story is implicit. So, I guess the moral of the story will make a lot of sense once you hear it. As far as clinical trials are concerned, and this is for study participants and research centers, to be cautious of people, what we call professional study participants, who try to make a living out of doing studies. They oftentimes do multiple studies at the same time, and they try to be sneaky about it, and they don't realize that they're hurting themselves. And the research sites out there need to be more aware of this, because we are seeing an increase in this, especially in some of the denser urban locations like Los Angeles, where I am. I'm sure it's going on in New York and like bigger cities like that, where there's multiple research clinics around. Therefore, multiple opportunities for these professional, what we in the industry call professional patients, to kind of go around and go hop around from different sites and try to get paid for their participation in the same study at multiple sites at the same time. I have a story to tell you about this. We had a guy in a study several years ago, and we didn't have any reason to believe that he was a professional patient, but we could have probably seen some of the warning signs, or at least caught them a little earlier. And let me tell you the story. So this guy was in our study. He was doing, we were doing a study for schizophrenia, and unknowingly to us, he was simultaneously doing a study at the same exact time at a different location for a different research company for restless leg syndrome. Now, I don't know which study he got into first, whether it was our study or their study, but the issue is obvious. I mean, we don't know what these medications do or what these investigational products do when they're taken by themselves, much less what the consequences are when they're taken together with another investigational product. I mean, that's a recipe for potential disaster. Luckily, nothing happened to this guy. I actually got kind of suspicious because some of the adverse events that we were getting were not consistent with what everyone else was reporting from the study. I mean, he was getting dizzy. He was having a hard time walking and keeping his balance when he was crossing the street. And we knew that, this was not expected from the medication that we were giving him, the investigational product that he was getting from our study. So I questioned him after a couple visits. I said, "What is going on here?" And he said, "Well, I may have joined another study for restless leg syndrome." And then I told him, the dangers of doing that, and we have gone over that with him before. When he first joined the study, we specifically told him that joining other studies is obviously not allowed, and any medications that any of your other healthcare providers prescribe you, we've got to know about. And he didn't tell us that he joined this restless leg study, so he was having trouble keeping his balance. And when I asked him why he did this, he said he wanted to get paid, he needed money, and he was desperate. And he was desperate enough to do this. And this is bad, and this is obviously, if you're a trial participant out there, there's nothing wrong with doing a study for some money. That shouldn't be your main motivation, but it's a nice benefit of doing studies is the extra cash that you can get for each visit. But it's not worth all the money in the world for you to get some kind of potentially permanent or even fatal interaction amongst these two different compounds, completely unknown even by themselves, never mind when mixed together. It's just not worth all the money in the world for you to do that. There's better ways to make money than to put yourself in this kind of danger. And research sites out there, you've got to be on the lookout for this. If you notice adverse events that just come out of nowhere and you don't really see them in the investigator brochure, and you have reason to believe that this person is looking for extra money, you may want to question this guy and have a talk with the participant and let them know that this is extremely dangerous. And I think I think it's going on a lot more than we would like to believe in this industry. And we as research professionals need to be more proactive about this and kind of stop it before it becomes a huge issue. So as soon as you find out, first of all, our guy, as soon as we found that out, we dropped him from the study, contacted his regular doctor. We tried to find out where he was participating in the other study and called that site and let them know what's going on, and basically referred him to his general practitioner for follow up. Luckily, he's fine. He still calls us, believe it or not, wanting to join more studies. Of course, we won't take him in because we know that this guy has a tendency to probably do this again. And a lot of sites out there, I know they're not that proactive, and some might, believe it or not, some may even let this slide just because they want the extra visits for their study participants, and this is really not good. So study participants out there, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get money from joining studies, but please just do one study at a time. If you do 2 studies, I've even heard of people doing 3 or 4 studies at a time. Honestly, that is a very dangerous game, and there's better ways to make money. Would love to hear from all of you. If any of you research centers have had similar experiences and you have strategies to kind of find out, who's doing this and what a site can look out for in terms of study participants doing multiple studies, let us know. www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thanks a lot.